It's so wonderful to be here, and oh, hello, my beloveds. It is such a joy to be with you, and what I was saying before was there are two things I gave up which totally changed my life. We all are adulting. We're adulting. Right now, while I was talking to you, this vase full of beautiful, check this out, beautiful lights just fell over. So, it happens. And years ago, if I was, whoop, there it goes again. If something like that happened, I would freak out. I would have held my breath. This is so perfect. This is divine intervention, because the first thing I was going to, well, it was going to be the second, but let it be the first. Thank you, divinity. The first thing that I gave up to have a much happier, grown-upping time of joy, my beloveds, is holding my breath when something happens unexpected, going, and then being stressed, and the shoulders go up, and your whole body, and what happens? Dis-ease. That is the brew for lack of ease, and which leads to all kinds of cockapoo disease. That's where it comes from, lack of ease. And my beloveds, you know what happens. So number one, the most important thing to give up. Hello, beloveds. I see we're populating. Hello, my family. Give up holding your breath when you're stressed. If you find yourself doing that, which on some level is a natural relaxation, it's not a relaxation. You're not relaxing. It's the anti-relaxing. If you're stressed like this, right, you are stopping yourself from feeling and creating a lack of ease, dis-ease, and that is something that I was doing for much of my life, walking around holding my breath. And I'm going to save you time and money. The number one thing to stop doing to have a happier grown-upping time, boys and girls, is breathe. So how do you do that when you are, freaked out and you just saw something terrible on the news, or you're in the car, or somebody calls you? I'm going to turn this down a little bit too. I'm breathing even though the music is a little bit too loud for my liking. And again, years ago, I would have been like, that happened. Why isn't everything perfect? Nothing is ever perfect, my beloveds. You know my reflection. So keep breathing. And a great way to do that is, believe it or not, to create a tiny little bit of tension in your body, so you don't create tension to the parts of your body, in the parts of your body that you don't want tension. How do you do that? Well, there's something in yoga called a bandha, which means root lock. And mula bandha is when you hold just gently. Oh, somebody is calling me. How funny. Charlotte, darling, I'm going to decline. I'm live now. I wonder if you're watching me. Is there a problem? I hope that you come on and watch me. I'm live, baby. I'm alive. We're all alive. Okay, well, even the ones that have transitioned, we have a life. We're eternal. So, isn't this funny? It's like, I love this so much because the universe is toying with me in a wonderful way to see if I really am rooted in what I'm speaking about, which is what? Which is, hello, which is, which is, tried to call you back. Oh, I didn't try. I was just trying to tag people to let them know I was going live. So much love to you. Charlotte, if you are watching, honey, I'm doing my live stream. And number one, I've got to stress it again, breathing, breath, as Dr. Sandra Rose Michael said, doing our wonderful when we were filming our episode on Sunday, the second episode of the relationship between the EE system and emotion, which of course is energy and motion. If you breathe, you're alive. If you don't, you're dead. I mean, it's as simple as that. So anytime you are stressed out and you're feeling tension in your body, the thing is to breathe. And so I was just getting, before Charlotte called, I was just getting into what's called bandha in yoga. And Mula Bandha is holding that area in between your shmoo shmoo and your shmee shmee gently. So what does that do? So if you're not walking around like this, like you're some kind of freaking robot, but if you just hold it gently while you're going through your day and remind yourself, because listen, we have a little bit of tension when we're holding our shoulders down, walking, like a dancer, whatever your fitness level, if you're holding your gut and, if you're trying not to show anything that's actually good for you, right? So if you can just Mula Bandha is what it's called, root lock. So you're holding that area in between your shmuki and your shmikalaka, all right? And just ever so gently, there's some healthy, conscious tension in there. This is good tension, right? Because we do, as I say, have a little bit of tension anyway. We wouldn't be alive if we didn't have a little bit of tension in our body. We would just be falling over, So it's okay. So this is healthy tension. It's called Mula Bandha between your shmoo shmoo and your shmee shmee. And if you're walking around having that consciousness and thinking about breathing up and down your chakra system, you're clearing it out. And so it's training, it's doing reps, just like anything else, just like going to the gym. You're not gonna have this, locked into your memory, into your muscle memory right away. But I'm telling you, if you have a little bit of that going on, let's say you're in the car and, somebody honks really loud and it gets on your nerves. If you're sitting there, you got your Mula Bandha going on, you're breathing up and down. You're breathing up and down. That is one wonderful thing to do. And of course, as I've discussed almost every love stream, one of the fastest things to do beyond that is to breathe and hum. So you breathe into your belly, you got the root lock going on, you breathe and you hum. Now humming, and I've discovered this from working with some of my clients and viewers, when you hum, your lips need to be together. So some people are thinking this is humming, where it's loose, like, oh, no. Hum. Why? So what that's doing is activating 15 to 24 times more nitrous oxide, that really good juicy stuff in your pineal gland. So it's, anti-parasitic. It's a cardiovascular bomb. Hello, beloveds. You're coming on. Hello, love warrior John Williams. You got, it's so good for your neural pathways, for your entire neurology. And, science has backed this. And when Dr. Sandra Rose Michael and I were doing our second episode on Sunday, she spoke to that. How great humming is for your neurology, because what? And this has been, by the way, if you look at my page, a wonderful woman who Love Warrior John Williams happens to know very well, Misha, sent me a gorgeous Instagram, which was about a scientist who went to Stockholm. Now, this is him talking, so that he could actually be there firsthand to watch an experiment, which spoke to, oh gosh, I'm getting so many texts in. This is so funny. Oh, John, this is so funny. This is a day when everything falls apart. And I'm talking about the importance of breathing when you're stressed out, so it's perfect. Like it's like the divine cosmic joke, right? And I'm up for it, baby. I'm up for it, I don't want any planes coming through the roof, but other than that, we're good. So what this scientist wanted to see was if actually 15 to 24 times more nitrous oxide is indeed this is so funny, the texts keep coming in, from your pineal gland, and and that activates, so it's antimicrobial, antiparasitic, so good for your blood pressure. Oh my goodness. And so Dr. Sandra Michael was talking about how it's backed by science, and all of this information is now coming out about humming, but breath, babes, breath. If one thing, to allow yourself to have more fun growing up, breathe. Every time the texts keep coming in while you're doing a live stream, just breathe into your belly. You do not want to create a lack of ease, dis-ease in your body. And if I'd known this when many decades ago, I would have saved a lot of time and money. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying everything's perfect, or I wouldn't be here with you right now. And let me just take a big slug of vodka to take the edge off. Now, this is beautiful, healthy water. Stay hydrated. So number one, let go of holding your breath when you're stressed out. So Mula Bandha, got a little bit of root lock going on there in between your shmukala and your shmiki shmaka. And those are the scientific terms for your shmukala. And so you hold it gently, not like, you got to stick up your, right? Hold it so you got a little tension in the body to remind yourself wherever you are, this is good tension. And you're going to remind yourself if somebody does something, if something doesn't happen the way you want it to, if you see something that doesn't make you feel good, breathe. Number one, breathe. And think about breathing up and down what I call your love trunk, which is where all of your chakras are in the middle of your body. Hello. Oh my goodness, Deborah Byrne got us a queen from the UK. And we've got love warrior John Williams from Toronski. Hello, beloveds. So, number one thing to let go of, numero uno, to have more fun adulting, stop holding your breath when you're freaked out. Whatever you do, train yourself. This is reps, but Mula Bandha, old yoga term, right? Hold in between your shmikli and your shmuckli. Whether you're lying down and you're watching TV or whatever, it doesn't matter. And breathe up and down your love trunk as much as you can. And if you can't do that, if you're like in the car and you need to, or doing something, you're at work, you have to keep your eyes on the fries, doesn't matter. Keep breathing. Because I spent decades holding my breath and creating lack of ease, dis-ease. So I have so much more fun now. If somebody bothers me, like for example, one of the things that I have as a business with my beloved husband and Gabby is our Energy Enhancement System Center. And a lot of times clients want to complain and tell me, about how horrible their life is. Not complain about the center, but complain about their state, which is sort of the old model, the sick model. So for me not to take on the energy, I root lock just a little bit gently in there. And I'm breathing up and down, whether I'm sitting next to them or not. And sometimes I hum. And let me tell you, I don't take on any cuckapoo-poo. So that is the number one most important thing. Keep on breathing. Oh, are you tagging somebody named Vesna Skavovich? Thank you, Love Queen Deborah. Skukula, hey, I like that world. It's a scientific, I think it's from the Medical Academy 2028, I don't know. Yeah, it's the sign between your shmikkel and your shmaka. That's where your bandha is, your Mula Bandha, right? That's root lock, so that you don't have tension out here. It's controlled tension. So breath, breathing, so important. Once more, I'm going to say the simplest thing, and I loved when Dr. Sandra said on Sunday, if you breathe, you're alive. If you don't, you're dead. It's so true and so simple. John says, I don't complain because I don't like seeing people's eyes glaze over. Yeah, right, exactly. Although, right, this love warrior John Williams of anybody, so many people are addicted to it. They're like, oh goody, John's complaining, now I can complain back, and it becomes like a complain fest. Cock-a-poo-poo. Okay, so that's the thing. And let me tell you, what I believe, it leads into, it's a great segue, John. Well done, darling. Now I'm having a phony British accent. What do you think about that, Deborah Byrne? My beautiful Irish accented friend. Listen, honestly, the most important, the numero uno, breathing is actually number one. This one shares a platform. I would say they're both equally important. Letting go of stories that may have been true, may have served us at a time, were necessary for our own evolution. Maybe we made this pact before we even incarnated, came into our blessed bodies, only part of us, right? Most of us in the unified love field, right? Only a small part of us here, and the rest of us just went splich. And then part of us up there in the unified love field. But what I did, as many of you know and have who have, you know, read my book or seen my plays or, you know, bought the t-shirt, whatever, my story, my darker childhood story served me because they were secrets. So in my case, for me to, and I turned them into a published play and a published memoir and yada yada, traditionally published, and all that. It really served me well and really moved the trajectory of my career ahead massively, and, you know, attracted Hollywood, good Hollywood and all that. So it was really good. But at some point, Jeannie Turville, hello, love queen, welcome. We're talking about two things that you absolutely must let go of if you want to have a better time adulting. And the number one thing was, don't stop breathing. I mean, don't hold your breath when you're freaked out, when you're tense, when you're stressed. And if you do the replay, if you you'll find techniques to be able to hold that consciousness so that all day long you're breathing consciously as much as possible. So yeah, the second thing is not to hang on to the dark stories. It doesn't matter if they're true. At some point, I started to make myself unwell by and people were booking me and, like, literally, and I'm not saying this to show up, but begging me, oh please, I'll pay you whatever you want to do this play. And so I performed at some pretty highfalutin, as my parents would say, theaters, and it was fun in a sense that it was posh. But I was at a point where I didn't need to tell the story anymore. It was actually making me, because it was like ripping open a scab. You know, I had done my healing, and now I was going down. And part of my identity, of course, was tied to it, because I got a ton of press. And I'm not going to go down there. A ton of press. I healed a lot of my family. I healed a lot of intergenerationally. And Sandra was talking about it 3 generations forward, 3 generations back, because it was a secret that was toxic and yada, yada, all that kind of good stuff. No regrets. One of the best things that ever happened, and the best part is my 86-year-old father sent me a letter of thanks from Vienna, where he was living still undercover, but to give him the courage to kind of come out with his story because of my work. And he had originally threatened me with a lawsuit, I will tell you that. So there was a really beautiful circle of healing there. So 0 regrets, my beloveds. But what I want to say is the second most important thing to do to have a better time adulting is to tell a new story. How do you do that? Image in, imagination. It is so powerful. I offered this very succinct, very quick exercise yesterday, and it worked so well. It worked really well, beautifully. I got all kinds of texts. Plus, you know, I loved it, and, you know, I've done it before. I've taught it in workshops over the years. My husband adored it. It was the first time he did it. It's powerful because we are our stories. So why don't we write one that's happy? Because what happens is you actually create a new timeline. Yes, indeed you do. And cheers to you on that, my beloveds. So it doesn't mean you're full of cockapoo-poo and you know this didn't happen. And again, if you need to have some cathartic experience, and there are many psychiatrists like Freud and Jung, and you know many of them, the Freudian, the Jungian psychiatry and psychology, believe in going into those places and, you know, dealing with, and I don't disagree. However, I also believe in, you know, Adlerian psychology, and also Anna Freud, who my father happened to be friends with, and it's totally true, it's all in the stories. She believed more, and so did Adler, that you can recreate your childhood. I am such a believer in that. And how do you do it? Well, little steppies. You don't, you know, pretend, hi, you know, I'm Chinese and I'm actually, you know, a giraffe and I grew up in France. All right, maybe one incarnation I was a Chinese giraffe from France. But my point is little things. So what I did yesterday, I'll use the same example. If there was something, especially that made you feel shame, okay? You can now rewrite it, because shame is one of the most paralyzing, crippling emotions that is systemic in our society. So for me, believe it or not, it can be little things. You know, you don't have to have had a lot of, really obvious trauma. Everyone has had some trauma. You could have been in kindergarten and, somebody shamed you for wearing the wrong shirt, and somehow you held your breath and you put that into your body, and that is something that made you feel horrible about how you present yourself with the way you look or something. Who knows? These little things can be big things. In my case, my blessed father, who was at Dunkirk during the war, he joined the French army, fought the Nazis, and ended up at the Battle of Dunkirk, and he was a medic, and they were out of supplies, so he tried to commit suicide. And this is in my book and my whatever. I'm not trying to promote my work. I'm just telling you, he tried to commit suicide. So what I did as a little girl, I had no opinion about that, except he used to tell me these dark stories as a little girl, which is why I ended up, you see, it worked in my favor. I ended up writing this award-winning play and, book and all that. And it was probably part of what my agreement was with him before I even incarnated. My point, though, because I do have a point, I think it was Father's Day, we were each given $10 to buy him a present. And so we went to like Ogilvy's, which was a department store in Ottawa where I grew up, like, the Bay or whatever. And, I went to the men's department and I saw the shiniest thing. Of course, I was always like a shiny, sparkly freak. Some things have not changed. That's it. You gotta reclaim the little kid in you and not let it go. Let's be playful. So I saw the shiniest golden thing, and guess what it was? It was a mini porcelain toilet. Why that was in the men's section, I don't know. I guess I don't know. But it was so funny because you pushed a little gold, it was like about this big, yay big. You pushed the little gold handle and out popped a little man from the toilet bowl with a sign that said, "Goodbye, cruel world." Well, I guess I came into the world with a little bit of a sense of humor. Plus my father loved like Charlie Chaplin. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's the funniest thing. And I convinced my little brother, who was not impressed and really kind of worried about us doing it, to pool our money. And I guess it was more than $10 and to buy it as a present together. I think he thought, oh, not stupid, because he knew my father could be triggered, prickly, PTSD. Right? Trauma survivor. So, but I thought it was great. I thought, oh, there's no way he's not going to love it. It's gold. It has a hand. Well, look. Fast forward, wrap. My dad opens it. Oh, was ist das? Yeah, beautiful present. Thank you so much, Francis. Thank you so much, Robert, my little brother. And he opens it and he sees a toilet and he went, what? You bought me a toilet? Right. And I was like, yeah, I bought you a toilet, Daddy. And then I said, and he's just staring at it. His face gets harder and more angry. And then I was like, Daddy, just flush it. It's so funny. Just flush it. And he went to flush it. And the little man popped out with a sign that said, "Goodbye, cruel world." And oh my gosh, I'm surprised he didn't throw it. He was so livid because his PTSD, his trauma, he was triggered and he thought somewhere I was making fun of the fact that he tried to commit suicide, which, the way he was raised was a sin, right? To have even attempted that. And somewhere he felt such survivor guilt because of what he'd gone through during the war as well. So the compilation. And so he got very, very angry at me and my whole body tensed. I wasn't breathing and I carried that shame and other shame. And, shame attracts shame. So what I'm saying to you, beloveds, rewrite that story. So what I did yesterday, what I'm going to do right now, I know it's a compelling story, but I've done it. I've performed it. I've written it. I crocheted the rug about, you know what I mean? It's like done. All right. Thank you for the great story. Here's what happened in my new timeline. Okay. So I have this, I'm very excited as a little girl. I've got this beautiful porcelain toilet with the gold handle and my daddy is unwrapping the wrapping paper and he sees it and he's like, oh, yeah, you are so funny, darling, das das ist sehr gut. He was from Vienna. Yeah, das ist so beautiful. Look at this silly toilet that you have such a good sense of humor. You are a little comedian. And you, Robert, hilarious. You two little pranksters. Oh, this is so funny. I'm going to put this on my desk at my office. You know what I mean? And that feels so good. And you know what you can do? You can rewrite any story where you had shame, beloveds. Let it go. It's time to. It's time in the world now that we rewrite our stories, not because we forget history, but we create a new timeline. Why? Because it feeds us. So then, when I think of this new story as little Franny, I want you to get in touch with yourself. Little Franny. Little Franny just had such a great reaction from her dad. Do you know what that does to you? It creates a whole new timeline. All of a sudden, shame is gone. You can think about that anytime. You can think about your new story. So what I want to suggest to you, beloveds, you get in touch with yourself. Little Johnny. We have little Deborah. Oh, thank you for the beautiful flower. Little Dawn Dib Lulu Briggs. Little Danny McKiley. Little Jeannie Turville. Little Deborah Byrne, and anyone else who might be on here. Give yourself the luxury. Take 2 minutes right now with me, okay? Because I know how you work. Close your eyes, hug yourself like you're a little kid, and say, I love you, little Franny. I love you, little Deborah. I love you, little Jeannie. I love you, little John. I love you, little Daddy. Come on, do it. Rub your arms if you want. And now I want you just to take 1 minute and think about rewriting something that would have been really fun if the other shit hadn't happened. Come on, just give yourself a minute. La, 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 la. It feels really good. Do it. La, think about it. Think about rewriting it as if you're writing a whole different fairy tale. La, 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 la. And you know what this helps? Do it on your own time if you want to do it more. But let me tell you, this lets go of the blame. If you forgive, you don't forgive an act, okay? If there is some monstrous act, you forgive the energy around it. Because we all co-created, whether consciously or not. Forgive yourself. If you hang on to the blame, and you have to keep telling the story and telling the story and telling the dark story, most importantly, self is being injured over and over again. At some point, for me, it was, like I said, it was cathartic for a while because it was a secret. And yes, it lifted, all the audiences and readers up. And I'm very pleased about contributing to healing that has to do with repressed emotions and all that. However, at some point, we're just creating more dark stories, which attract more. What are you wanting more of? What are you focusing on? And I tell you this, I tell you what, you rewrite little parts of your life. You create it. You rewrite your story. Or, just if that makes you uncomfortable, write a new story. And I'm telling you, it will change your chemical makeup. It will change your molecular structure. All of a sudden, pieces of your body that may have been suffering as a result of the tension and the trauma will begin homeostasis. That the body wants to be healthy. And so we're going to move into a from, my beloveds, which is what I'm Franny. So it's a combination of breathing, love intention, and humming. We're going to do the fast one. This is so easy and so succinct. And as many of you know, this is the fastest on-the-go modality. And, my opinion, Franny Sheridan's opinion is this is the most powerful to what? So breathing is really good. But if in combination with it, you hum, you're releasing 15 to 24 times more nitrous oxide from your pineal gland. And if you don't believe me, there are videos on my page. One of them is from a scientist who went to Stockholm to see the experiments and now believes this is true. Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, who I had the privilege of co-starring on Sunday for our second episode, of the relationship between the EE system and emotion, which is energy and motion, also rooted and grounded, humming in the science of the physiological effects, which are hugely Barbara Smoloff. Hello, beautiful love queen. If you, Barbara, didn't see the, excuse me, I'm so excited. I'm burping. I'm having a burpathon. You might want to. There's a very fast exercise about rewriting your story. That's so powerful. So beautifully powerful. Okay, but now we're going to go into fast from. Okay, so, oh my goodness. It's just so wonderful to do this. I just want to thank you for this because I feel you all flying. I feel you all so abundant. I feel you all so well. I feel you all so in joy, so in creating, so in co-creating, whatever it is that you want. And if you wish that on others, it will come back to you gazillion timefold. It's just the law of physics. So I just want to, first of all, just stop and take a moment and thank you all so much for being here. I can't tell you what it means to me. I need some serious help getting rid of cuckapoo. Barbara, well, you came to the right place. So Barbara, honey, when we're done here, which will be in about 15 minutes, I suggest strongly you replay because this is an amazing inner child exercise that will take you 2 minutes. But right now, let's go into a from. Will you give me a second? I'm going to turn on the fan. It's hot here in Florida. It is. Yes. All right. Oh, yeah, baby. Okay. Hello, beloveds. Okay, so fast is so easy. So you're going to breathe into your gut, which always makes me go into cornfield, lady. Right, John? Get your gut, but you don't want to hyperextend your back, so your knees are bent. Now, if you're in bed, it's perfect. If you're driving, it's perfect, okay? This is the fastest one. It's not a long form from, the short form from. This will help you get rid of cockapoo-poo. Goddess and Queen Barbara Smoloff. I love your name. Okay, so you're breathing into your belly. You want your shoulders down. You don't want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. What we're doing is integrating parasympathetic and sympathetic. How? Breathing into the belly. So push out on your belly. Put your hands there for a moment if you can. You know, if possible, even just one. Okay? I want you to know that you're pushing out on your belly. You are not activating fight or flight, the upper part of the upper registry of your lungs. So what you're going to do, okay? So let's say you're driving, because that's a great one, okay? Or you're sitting next to a driver who's freaking out. No name's Benson. Bless you, bless you. I no longer have this. Why? Because my beloved does this and no longer has road rage. True story. Oh my goodness. Okay, so all you do, you're sitting there, okay? You're sitting there with your hands on the wheel. This is mine. Majored in theater and university. Studied film acting. There's a reason. This is like so believable. Okay, so you're breathing. I just like being silly. It's so important just to let yourself be a goofball. Be playful. The little kid in you wants to come out and play. Breathe into the belly. So breathe and then hum. Lips closed. We're going to do 3 times. Just simple one. Breathe into your belly. Numero 3. Number 3. Drive. Lips closed. You don't have to wait until somebody cuts you off or somebody's getting too close to you or there's a pothole. And your lips want to be closed. They want to be closed. They told me. Because some people think humming is this. No, because you want this. The frequency activates your pineal gland. You have no idea. Yes, you do, because you're part of me. But the nitrous oxide. And you're going to release 15 to 24 times more nitrous oxide from your pineal gland, your third eye area, than regular nose exhalations. Antimicrobial, anti-parasitic, uncle-parasitic. So good for your neurology, so good for your neural pathways, your cardiovascular system. Everything gets radically lined up. And, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So any questions, boys and girls? I could go into a long form from, I need some, okay, are we all good? let's see what's going on here. I hope I've acknowledged everyone who's on. Another fab necklace. Okay. Well, that's a great thing to hear. Isn't this pretty? Yeah. You know, Rochelle Cabrin, love queen. Oh, I love you so much. Little Rochelle. We're holding little Rochelle in so much love. And Rochelle honey and Barbara honey, love queens, I strongly suggest you replay this video. There's such a wonderfully powerful, effective, succinct, fast exercise about rewriting your childhood. So on that note, I think I'm going to call it oh wait, let's see what Rochelle says. The very best. Love the frumming technique. Oh, I love you so much, Rochelle. Yay, Rochelle is right. You know, honey, the fast one is user-friendly anywhere. It's an on-the-go one. And then, of course, the long one is what we do when we meditate, or I should call it the medium one. And the long one is what I do when I'm in private workshops where people actually expunge lower frequencies. They cry, they scream. And there's some crying, and I have had, you know, viewers on certainly who've told me that tears are there and they're releasing what is in their subconscious, in their fascia, held in the soma, right? With the short ones, it's more about self-soothing. It is the fastest way to regulate, to self-regulate, to self-soothe. Okay, all right. I think I'm gonna go now. I have a Zoom call that I have to take care of, and so I so adore all of you. I will try to be back tomorrow to do another live around this time. And I adore you all. We are all one big love family. So I have been saying this in the, oh, Deborah Byrne, thank you, honey. Like I really mean this. I don't need you. I don't need you. I'm not needy. I don't need you to like share this. If you feel there's somebody who would benefit from being lifted up by this information that's come through me, and by the way, humming, which is now frumming, Franny, so it's love intention, breath work, and humming that I call frumming. When it happened and I asked for the meditation, I said to my beloved Danny, husband, partner in flying, I'm not the only person. I know that this information has come through. So now all these scientists are coming out talking about humming and its scientific grounded property. And for those of you who don't know, I have some information about that on my page here on Facebook. Unbelievable. I mean, so I'm just very excited, and I guess I don't want to go, but I really do need to. Yeah, I got to get schmucking. I love you all so much. Love you so much, Deborah Byrne. I love and adore you. Oh, what I was saying was, you beautiful star. Oh, reflection. I sounded like Joan Rivers there, but I really meant it, and she meant it too. I love Joan. So the reflection. Oh, you're so you're so luminous. You're so beautiful, Goddess of Queen Deborah. All of you are gorgeous stars. We are all photonic. We're all from the star stuff. We are from the stars. We are stars. So let yourself shine. And I want to say, even though I don't need you to share this, especially now in the world, I feel very strongly that if I can add value to anyone who needs some grounding with their breath and their humming and restructuring their history so that they are no longer stuck in shame, at least for a little bit, baby steps, then I feel like I'm adding some value. And if you feel like sharing it with someone who you think might be uplifted, please do. That's all I'm saying, and I love you so much. All right, blessings to everyone. Thank you so much for playing in the love sign box. And just know, we're doing this in a group. We're doing this in a group. What's that? Agreement of a group. Yes, we're a group. It's a new word coming to me. We're doing this in a group, so it's magnified, right? Right? We're stronger together. It's magnified, this beautiful energy. Loving you so much. Have a gorgeous, gorgeous rest of your day, your night, and any anyway, the only time that's real is right this moment, now. There is no future, there's no past.